Hi all, welcome to our new episode. Today we are having a distinguished guest in our podcast. So before starting our podcast, let me share a simple story for you. In 1971, when SLV-3 has to be launched to the space, but unfortunately it has been plunged to Bay of Bengal. So that was the last day we could have not seen Abdul Kalam as a president of India, because at that point of time Abdul Kalam was a project director. So he has to face the media, Indian media. You all know how the Indian media is. So they are going to throw a lot of question on any person who has committed some mistake. Abdul Kalam was scared to go in front of the media. So at that point of time, ISRO chairman was Satish Dhawan. He came in front of the media and he took the responsibility and said that, so this is not the fault of our team. Sole responsibility will be put on my shoulders. And he has taken the responsibility. So from that day onwards, Abdul Kalam didn't turn back, and you have know the rest of the history. So what Abdul Kalam has achieved, because he has called as Missile Man of India, right? We have such a distinguished guest with us, with a very young age, who is inspiring lot of youngsters like us, because he is having a very much responsibility and he is taking care of one of the best universities in Karnataka, and he wanted to make it is the top one university in Karnataka. So we have Dr. Vivek Veeraiah sir with us. So welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, sir. Today's discussion is all about, you have seen lot of world, because we always use it to say that education is not about what you read, it's all about how much you have traveled. So you have traveled cut across the world. So because we know your profile, you have visited so many countries, and lot of our youngsters, our students, so are aspiring to study in abroad. So what is your say on studying abroad? The reason is nowadays there is lot of brain drain, because we always use it to say that we are not getting the best of the faculties to teach in our university. All these things are happening. In the meanwhile, most of the students wanted to go back to abroad or come back to India. What is the best fit for, whether it is to study in abroad or to come back to India, or else to settle over there. So because completely this is a concept of brain drain. So I want you to elaborate about brain drain, and apart from that, about your journey. So over to you, sir.
There are two parts to this, right? One is why I went, what is my experience, and then I'll come to what should other people do part. When I did engineering here in Tumakuru, Siddharta, right? So it's a funny story. It will take a bit of story. I'll tell you. When I was doing my engineering degrees, right? So I was really good in. I did electronics engineering from our own Siddharta. We were good in practical stuff. So we used to build a lot of stuff. Design PCBs, build. At that time, even computers were new. We used to assemble the parts and we used to sell, things like that. So based on that experience, I got a job where I was working as an embedded systems engineer. When I went there, embedded systems engineering, they said, you're really good in terms of designing, but however, you have to start writing code to make it work is the challenge. Then my manager said, no, you have to do it. I said, I don't know, use computer science guys. But then he said, no, don't, you have to do it. At that time, I was thinking whether should I consider studying here MTech or should I consider other choices. However, all these parents, my mother played a key role in this, I should admit. She always pushed, consider going abroad and stuff. Then I met somebody, my dad's professor, who is a professor of chemistry in Illinois Institute in Chicago. He had visited Mysore. We met him and I asked him how were things, and he very much encouraged me to do it. And he said, Vivek, don't worry, it's going to be okay. You come over and things will be okay. Just that kind of a belief what he gave made me think I should consider doing it. So then I figured out what GRE is, IELTS, wrote those exams, and then applied for multiple schools. Then I chose NYU, where I wanted to do my master's in computer science. I went there. When I went there, after I finished my engineering here in Siddharta, I went to Bangalore to work for a few months in this transition period, right? Bangalore is very vibrant, colorful, diversified. For a kid who's never been out of Tumakuru, you go to Bangalore, it's a different world altogether.
Fascination.
So I figured if Bangalore is this much, then imagine studying in New York. Then I decided I want to go to New York, not just because of the ranking, whatever it is. Of course, those conditions were there, but there are equally good universities where I got into. But I chose New York because New York is colorful, what we read online. So I decided to go to New York and I went there. Journey has been very beautiful. There the education system is entirely different. Here is more of theory, less of practical. There is about 90% practical, little bit 10% of theory. The way they see education is, if you want to execute a project, you should know the theory. So learning the theory part is on you, and how you execute is where they come and mentor you, guide you and stuff. And you get to learn lot of hands-on experience you would get. That it's doing an MTech here in India is very different than doing an MS in America. Very different, very different. So I finished that and then I started working as well. Then later, as and when the job demanded, I wanted to acquire more managerial skills and stuff. I got my MBA and so forth. So I would highly recommend students to consider going abroad, whether it's UK, US, Singapore, Australia, wherever you are. We come from a background where our parents do everything for us. Everything is spoon-fed for us. But you are a different person when you go there. There you have to do your own laundry, you have to wash your own bathrooms, where you have to cook for yourself, everything you have to do. You as an individual have to go through so much in the process. It could be physical, emotional or intelligence. You evolve. You are a completely changed person by the time you enter, and after 2 years you will be an entirely different person. And that person has a very good market value compared to what you graduate from here. And that experience, as you said, you travel, you see experience. I'll tell you, one of my mentors said, Vivek, when we were studying in New York University, it's a big school. New York University has about 85,000 students on campus anytime. Half of New York City is New York University, right? So plenty of events happening there. My mentor said, Vivek, why don't you go attend all these events just to get to know them. So we go see them, how they eat, that's how we started learning how to use a fork. We always used our hands. We never, although I never mastered how to use a chopstick, but I can use, I can use fork and eat rice. So you get to know things, lot of things. It changes perspective, your body language, the way you dress, everything changes. And you come as a better person when you're out. One more thing is, here and when we are studying with our family and in India, there are a lot of people who are watching you to guide you. There you are all alone, independent. You have to be focused on what you come for. That kind of determination comes when you are in that boat.
So my next question is, sorry to interrupt, like lot of guys in tier 2 or tier 3 cities, because our Chancellor aim is reach the unreached, means like we are focusing more on rural areas. And like it will be difficult for us to go and study in abroad, but for most of the people, and like there won't be any good guide to guide them, like how to go to abroad, like from where to study, how to study, when to study, all these things. So many things will be lingering in our head. So how to kickstart this study abroad dream? First thing. Second thing is, do we need a lot of money to study in abroad?
See, studying abroad is not expensive. It's a myth. If I come from a very humble background. So there are plenty of choices. There is a lot of financial support available in the market. There are, even if you don't have 1 rupee, you can still manage to go it. There are banks, nationalized banks. There are private banks who will support if you get into a good school. First thing is, when you decide to do it, the time frame is very important. If you are an engineering student, you should decide to do that or kickstart the process when you are in 3rd year. That is very important. So by the time you finish, see, graduate education is by choice. You have to figure out, the entire admission cycle will take minimum of 1 year. It's not like tomorrow you decided you want to join and you can go. No. The process will take 1 year. When you are in your 3rd year, start looking for universities and start prepping for your GRE. Very important. And either IELTS or TOEFL, one of these 2 English exams. Just to know that you can read, write and understand English. They're not going to test you to the core. It's communication English. As long as you can understand what I'm speaking, then you should be able to clear IELTS. That's how it is. You start, then figure out application. Look for a mentor. There are plenty of agencies. also in the market. Either go to an agency, or when you are selecting an agency or a mentor, make sure that they have enough experience to guide you through that.
Okay.
Right? So with that experience, you start the application process, and it will take 1 year for that.
Okay.
When it comes to finances, you only have to support or take family support initial few steps,
Okay.
application fees, visa fees and stuff. But when you come to supporting your financials as a tuition, you have a lot of help.
Okay.
We have never seen a candidate, I've mentored about more than 2000 candidates.
sounds
Never
good.
seen somebody who said, I don't have money, I cannot go. There is
Okay.
always a way to make it happen.
Oh,
And
super.
financial and return on investment is what I tell all my clients. Whatever you invest as your tuition and living expenses for your 2 years master's program, that's your salary for the very first month. So you will earn, let's say you spend about 50 lakh rupees as your expense to finish your masters, then you should expect a minimum of 1.2 crore as your starting salary annually. So whatever you invest,
Do we
whether
really
you
get
take
that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the minimum you get.
Okay, because see, like most of our friends, like even when we are studying in SIT, most of our friends like went to US. They said like we're gonna return back after our MS, but they didn't turn back. So like, what is the difference between work culture in India and work culture in US? Why people are gonna settle in US itself? Why they are not coming back?
There are two reasons why this is my personal experience, right? One is there is a lot of money there. You earn, as I said, if you're going to earn 1.2 crore as a starting salary for a master's guy, imagine 5 years down the line you're earning in millions. Okay, so that's a lot of money. And there are a lot of people who come from a very financially sound background, but they still settle there. There are two work cultures, as you mentioned. The work culture in India and work culture in US or abroad is very, very different. There, your business is your business. What you do is limited to you. In India, your business is everyone's business.
True.
Everyone is going to poke nose into you. What is happening, Rajesh? What is happening? What is happening? What? They will give you advice even though it's not asked for. You know, that frustrates a lot of people.
We always used to say, my mother is not bothered about my job, but my pakkad mane auntie is bothered about my job.
Exactly. They care more about it. So that kind of puts frustration on people, right? And some of the basic facilities, what I would say here, even today in some tier 2 cities, having 24/7 electricity or having a public transportation is still not reached from end to end. There, that is given. So any part of US you go, 24/7 electricity, the basic commodity is what we say, it's already set. So you don't need to break your head to do any of those things. So your living style will be very normal there. Here you will have to struggle. And that is all paid through your taxes. It's all taken care of. Whatever you feel luxury here, that's a basic commodity there. So people may not want to give up that kind of life, saving away from that. Maybe they don't mind doing a little bit of house chores, getting the groceries, cleaning the toilets themselves, but still they have that kind of privacy. And the growth and the work culture here, if Rajesh is doing very well, Vivek will be trying to pull his leg.
True.
You will not find people who would say, Rajesh, you're doing fantastic job, let's do something together.
True.
They will always try to badger you, all that stuff. That is little less there in this level of administration. Of course, that's there at a very high level. Even there is bribery, there is corruption, but at a different level, not at this low level.
There's no nepotism over there like this?
No, not to that extent. Of course, there is some in few industries, but not to this extent.
Okay. So next thing is, like, we heard about MS and all those things, okay, but we have not seen the BE guys over there, means undergraduate guys over there, because always whenever our friends, whomever we meet in the society, they are going to do their graduation here and they are going to move to the abroad.
Correct.
So how different is our graduation system from US graduation system?
It is same 4 years degree. If I talk about engineering, right?
Okay.
It is very same. Why they don't do it is for the cost.
Okay.
See, in America, everything goes by how many credit hours the degree is. Like you also know a credit system.
Yeah.
Like in SSAHE, the engineering degree what we offer is about 178 credits.
Okay.
Let's say a typical undergrad degree in US is about 160 to 180 credits. So there you charge per credit.
Okay.
Let's say NYU charges about $2,500 for per credit. If someone has to study this program in NYU, like where I graduated from, it will cost him about 3.5 crores. But if you master's degree is only 30 credits.
Okay.
So I'll end up spending only 90,000 or 75,000 rupees. So it is cheaper to do it in India than go. Of course, there is plenty of people who would still go there. I have clients, I have friends whose kids and referrals, they have gone and doing their undergrad. If you can afford it, then you can do it. The general thinking is that, as I said, in tier 2, tier 3 cities, for us to get that 75 lakh itself is a big thing. So spending 3 crores on undergrad degree will be too much on us. And you have to look at the returns as well. As I said, when you finish your masters, your salary starting salary expected is about 1.2 CR. But if you do an undergrad there, your starting salary is only 60 to 80,000 US, 80 lakh rupees. So your returns are not there. That's the reason why they don't do.
Super, sir. Now, the collateral damage you got here when you are spending with your degree friends in a society like in tier 2 city. So, how did you manage this cultural shock when you go to US? Like, how is your networking, all these things? How you managed these things?
It was a huge cultural shock. I went in fall. It was end of summer in New York. That's the if you see, we've seen like how you see in movies. It's very it is very similar to that. We had first 3 months was tough because we were new in town. We were looking like buffoons in front of others because we did not know. It was not like how we in internet you can read everything and you are prepared. No, it was not like that back in the days. Even to make a phone call to my parents, a video call to my parents, I used to do once a month when I went. So now you take WhatsApp and you see on a daily basis. That's not the case before. First 3 months was tough. You were home alone and you feel. But good thing is we had a lot of friends who went from Karnataka. We were 5 guys who were staying in an apartment and rented house. We were helping each other to do. And when I went there, I did look for a mentor, and I did found a mentor who was guiding us, helping us, what courses to take, how do you do. As I said, Mel Horwich was the one who said, go attend events, get to know. So whatever things were happening in New York University, we used to make sure we attend that just to learn, get acquainted with it. So first semester was tough, 3-4 months. From second semester, we were comfortable.
Sir, now let us move into your personal life a little bit. So you have been given a very good post at a very young age. So how to manage it? Because there will be so many people looking after you because they want, as you said, like in Indian society, there are people like who wanted to push everything.
Correct.
So how will you manage yourself? Because like a lot of our students wanted to start a startup or something else. They wanted to become a leader. So they will want to follow your footsteps. So what is the advice for them? Like how will you carry yourself?
See, for a leader or an entrepreneur, it is important that your mindset should be clear, what you want to achieve. And what others tell or interpret should not matter to you. Right? There is a saying in English, if the war is won, the credit goes to captain. If the war is lost, the soldiers are blamed. Same thing like that. Here also the same thing happens. Luckily, here I am very fortunate. Dr. G. Parmeshwara sir has identified me and he thinks that I can take care of a few of these institutions in his absence. I try to do my best. In his absence, I handle his portfolio and the education sector. As I said, there are a lot of people who want to support in what I do. There are a lot of people who may not like it as well. So I personally don't take it. I go with only 2 principles. It doesn't matter whoever thinks. For me, what matters is whether my boss knows what I'm doing, whether he's happy or not. End of story. What other things does not matter to me at all, and I don't really care also. Right? With that mindset, if people support, like as I said, you want to do something, I feel it is good for the institution, I will absolutely go and support. I'll go an extra mile to support anybody. If you look at any of our in our institutions, any new projects coming up, any new principles, any new thing, whatever is happening, I'll go an extra mile to support it. Keeping that this is good for the institute. When I'm doing that, I have clarity in what I'm doing. If somebody doesn't like it, it's their problem, not my problem. So I don't take that pressure on me. And luckily my boss likes the way I work and he has that trust on me. That makes my life easier.
So like there are so many universities. Tell me 2 or 3 points where SSAHE is different from other universities.
In terms of academics, are you asking, or in terms of
Any,
service?
in terms of anything.
Okay. One is the geographical location, SSAHE.
Okay.
It is in tier 2 city.
Okay.
This group, one of the reasons why I agreed to work for Siddharta, before I was with Adichinchangiri, now I came to Siddharta. I feel that this institution is giving a lot to the community, and I want to be part of it.
Okay.
Right? This is a 60-year-old education institution. They have been serving the public and community for last 60 years. I wanted to be part of it, which not many universities have done. And when you come to academics and the innovative things what we are doing, right? If you look at our medical school curriculum, even though we follow the NMC guidelines, we have 2 courses which I want to mention. One is the computer science for doctors. A lot of these doctors, they are not tech savvy. Right, of course, when Corona came, a lot of them become a little bit of tech savvy, but not to that extent. So now we teach them how to use computers. Now we have ChatGPT or Gemini or Canva. How to use these tools to make your life easier. For somebody to understand how they can use technology. Going forward, if you look at radiology, lot of imaging and the result analysis will be done by the machines. So it is important for a doctor to understand the basic education engineering structure. That way we are different. We are also introducing a course in entrepreneurship for doctors. It's called Doctorpreneur. If you see a lot of doctors, this is common practice. They have their own clinic, private nursing home, private hospitals. They are all entrepreneurs. They did not become entrepreneurs thinking that they are entrepreneurs. They just came. And some of them fail, some of them really do well. Why? There is a learning curve. They don't know how to manage it. You may be really good in running a small clinic. Tomorrow when you convert that small clinic into a nursing home, you will fail. But your clinic was running extremely well. Why? They don't have that entrepreneurial knowledge. So we're doing something different there. We're trying to teach that entrepreneurial side to our doctors, which is very unique. And when it comes to engineering education, we have state-of-the-art cybersecurity cell. No one else has this facility across India. This is as good as what the Forensic Institute or Ahmedabad facility we have. It's as good as for an engineering institute. So our students get to learn. We give them the platform to simulate. For example, the recent incident of flight simulator which happened. How do you, like the stampede which happened in RCB? We have a model for that. We have a mall, which there the gates and the people, the turnstile, the shops can be simulated to see how many people come, how many people can you accommodate. Our students are able to practice that, make sure that these things don't happen. So we have built a facility like that which does not exist in other places. Hence our students are placed well when they graduate.
Sounds great, sir. And my next question is most of us don't know what is advisor to chancellor, because that is a very unfortunate thing, because people around you know about what are the things you are doing, because you'll be all the time busy. You are the busiest person, I can say, in the university, one of the busiest person I can say. So but most of the colleges, they don't have this kind of hierarchy or something like that. So they don't know what is the role of advisor to chancellor, because it's difficult to say to each and everyone. So if it is from horse's mouth, it will be easy for them to understand. So what are the role you will gonna play in everyday life?
My day, the title advisor was given to me. I did not know when I joined. I did not know what my title was over a month.
Because
of time.
I was also so curious, what is the work of it? Because we heard about chancellor, register, all these things, but we don't know what is the role of advisor to chancellor.
See, it's very simple. It's very simple. As the name itself indicates, advisor. My job is to advise my boss on what is going on, how to go about it, and how do we execute it. Very simple, right? I am Dr. G. Parmeshwara sir's or Chancellor sir's ears, mouth, and eyes. So what is happening, I update him. Let's say we want to do something. For example, we wanted to build a cybersecurity lab. And then we discuss, we want to say we are introducing cybersecurity, we want to do this. My job is to source it. Who are all the vendors which are there, what are they doing, what is happening in the industry. I go back to my people in the department in computer science to gather information, take them into confidence and go present it to Chancellor. Boss, this is what is happening in the industry, this is what we need to do, and this is how we have to be different. Then he takes a decision on that and I come back and implement. My position is not a statutory position, my position is an executive position. My job is, if I have to put it in a layman's word, my job is to make my boss's job easier.
Okay.
He is 100 times, 1000 times busier than I am. He will not have, being the Home Minister running the state and concentrating on this, it will be difficult. So I summarize everything. Boss will not be able to meet with Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Dr. Ravi Prakash, Dr. Sani Kope or Dr. Lingegoda there. I'll talk to them, summarize them. He can give me 10 minutes to me, but giving 10 minutes to individually will be too much. So that's what I do. I talk to these people, take them, everybody into confidence, what is happening, find out, update, give my inputs to them, come back, discuss with boss, go back to them and stuff. That's how I see all new implementations as something which we do. Generally, if I have to put it in simple, I take care of the growth.
Okay.
Whether it's starting a new program, building a new project, building a new building, whatever it is, I take care of the growth.
So tell me some dream projects for you. So where you want to take this SSAHE?
I have a lot in mind.
Yeah, if you can figure it like 2 or 3, like what will gonna lingering in your head, like if you can remember 1 or 2 points, like where you want to see your university in like next 5 years or 2 years.
In next 5 years, I want to see SSAHE in QS rankings.
Okay.
That's where I want to go. That's where I want to take it.
Okay.
So far, we have been able to serve the people of Karnataka.
Okay.
Eventually, I want to expand it into other parts of India.
Sounds great.
Parallelly, on an important role, we have started something called SSAHE Global.
Okay.
We want to put a foot outside of India as well.
Super.
If somebody enters, my goal is somebody joins a Siddharta group as a kindergarten kid.
Okay.
Irrespective of what they want to become, they can graduate with us across any part of the world.
True finishing school.
Yes, you join here, you will go everywhere.
True meaning of finishing school.
Yes.
And like one personal question, like how will you gonna manage all these things, personal life and professional life? Because you will be busy all the time, because whenever we see, so you'll be doing some work, like, or you will be traveling somewhere else. Okay, you will be meeting the Chancellor, you will be like engaging with so many activities, and he's also a Home Minister now. You have to take that responsibility also. So how will you gonna manage both the things, personal life as well as professional life? Because we see in the society, we will gonna try to manage our professional life, but like we fail in personal life. Okay, so like how will you gonna manage both the things?
Right. Small correction there. I mean, GP sir is busy as a Home Minister, but I don't handle his portfolio. I'm purely dedicated for Siddhartha, right? So personal life, it does take a toll on it. It would not be fair. I should admit that I'm not able to give the family time which my family demands. But I've been very fortunate to have a wife who is very supportive in what I do. When I wanted to come and work, take a full-time job, she stayed back home taking care of the kid. Of course, she has her own company and she manages that as well, but she takes the back seat and wanted me to do. And I generally try to keep Sundays for my family, like the kid, and he's growing up, he is a 5th grader. So I try to give him some time, but Monday to Saturday, I'm generally dedicated to this. It will not be possible to give any time to the family during the weekdays. That's very hard. Maybe once in a while we have an event or we have to go to school or something, then I manage. But generally Monday to Saturday I'm dedicated to Siddhartha. And this job demands it, because we have so many institutes, there is something or the other which is happening in one of institute or the other. So the job demands that I give my full attention to this, and I've kept it. When time permits, I spend some time on research as well.
Okay. So, like, what is your advice on, we will gonna call ourselves as pre-corona kids and post-corona kids. So it is difficult to manage post-corona kids, because like whatever we teach in the classroom, they're gonna say that we have seen this in Instagram, we have seen in Facebook, all these things, because social media penetration is too much nowadays. So like, is there any change from pre-corona kids to post-corona kids? Have you noticed? Because like you will be wandering in so many places. Have you noticed any changes?
I think the span, the concentration span has come down very down, very, very down. 30 seconds, maximum 20 to 30 seconds. If you want to deliver something, it has to be delivered in that short period of time. That's how it is. And as I said, they have seen all these things in the Instagram reels.
True.
Whatever you taught Moore's law in 1 hour class in physics, could be described in a small experiment in a 60-second reel.
True.
That is what it has come. I think our education should change to where it is more practical oriented.
True.
That is where I think will be a differentiator, and that will give a lot of hands-on experience to them. That is the only thing which will help them, because they've already seen it and they will not have the concentration to read themselves or sit in it. Do more of practical teaching, and that I think will give a holistic approach.
So, what will gonna make a better education society for India? Because you have seen the US education system. So, if it has been there in the Indian education system, you feel that like the Indian education system could have been better than this.
Well, coming back to the practicality of it, I think that is the only thing which is missing. We have great values in our system, right? There is a huge difference between education system here in India and in abroad. I wouldn't take everything what they have. I wouldn't say that is the best, but the practical training they give is very important, and I believe we lack in that. And if we incorporate that into our teaching, I think will be fantastic. Our education should not be like how when we used to go to classes and stuff, we used to be like 60-80 kids in one classroom and stuff. No, we have to come out of that. We have to come out of that, give 20 kids in one room or 20 students, give them enough experiments and make learning fun through practicality. Theory everyone can read. So if you make that, I think it will be better.
Sir, like most of us will gonna dream that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I wanted to go for a job. So they have a dilemma, like what to do after engineering. So what is your suggestion for them, like in the sense like whether they need to directly go and start a startup, or they need to work in a company and then they have to cherish their dreams?
I honestly feel you should take up a job.
Okay.
You should take up a job, work at least 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Get to know. You don't know anything. You don't know how a floor plan is.
Okay.
Go there, get to know, and then keep this idea. Have this idea back in your mind. Curate the idea. Think of it. If you work in a company, then you know one is how they will treat you.
Okay.
Which then you will learn how you should treat somebody when you're there. What are the challenges, and also save some money if you don't have, and that will help. My advice is, right after your graduation, don't start with a company. No. Go work for somebody, get to know, improve yourself, then come back and start. That will give you, what happens if you start immediately, you don't know how to handle it.
True.
Whether it's good, bad or ugly, you will not be able to handle it. So it is better to get some experience and bring it. On the other hand, even if you have your parents' business, I would still go work for somebody and then come back. What happens if my father is running a business, I go there, I'm already treated at a different level when it comes to employees. I'll never be able to go to their level and work and understand. So it is better that if you work somewhere and then get into, either you become an entrepreneur or you going to run a family business, whatever you want to do, work for some time. That practical knowledge is important.
Okay. Now, like if you see the nowadays student, like if you go for any of the colleges, so students wanted to get place for some company, but like whenever the companies come to campus, they are going to say that, see, we have so many job opportunity, but your students are not employable. So what is the gap in between like industry and academia? How to fill this gap?
This gap has been for a very long time. I don't think we have changed very significantly. What I would do is try to get somebody from industry to get to know what their requirements are and try to bring their problems or projects. Coming back to practical teaching, if they have a problem, bring that problem to your students, give that problem to your students in third year and let them start working on it. And fourth year they are employable.
How important is soft skills, like if you want to go for abroad or somewhere else?
No, even if you want to stay here, soft skills are very, very important.
Okay.
Soft skills are very important.
Okay, because how to groom ourselves and like be a good human being and learn all those soft skills.
See, soft skill doesn't mean that you have to be a good human being. Good human values, that's different. That either you learnt it or your parents have taught it. That depends on how your upbringing is, right? Soft skills anybody can learn, right? There are plenty of videos which are there. There are a lot of coaches who are there. you should just have that mindset that I want to work on myself. If you have that mindset, you want to work on myself, you'll be able to conquer it.
Okay. So how to improve our English?
Very simple. I'll tell you,
Because
when
like,
we
see,
graduated, my English was not this good. Eventually, when I went there, I still remember I used to buy CDs and DVDs of Harry Potter series. I used to watch. About 90% of that English I was not able to understand.
True. That's the reason this question is.
So, but you keep repeating, then you have subtitles, go read it. Another thing which we did is reading newspaper, kind of helped English. You need to be really mindful of the grammar and how you speak and stuff. And you should try to communicate in that. And there are a lot of online tools which are easily available for you to do it. And you should use that. The mindset to learn, improve yourself is there, everything will work out naturally.
One last question, sir. Why we want to join for Siddhartha group?
Siddhartha group has been in existence for more than 6 decades. And we have produced, the group has produced more than 150k students, graduates, and about 40,000 engineers and about 10,000 doctors into this community. So you want to be part of this legacy. We have alumni who settled in more than 100 countries globally. So you want to be part of that great network, and all this is provided for you at a minimal cost in a tier 2 city, which no one else has done it. So you want to be part of Siddhartha group for that reason. As a student, and the faculty here who teaches, they come with a lot of good experience. There are a lot of mentors. There are people like Dr. Chiparmeshwara who studied abroad, and they want to bring those ideas into this, embodying into this, and they constantly work on improving this on a day-to-day basis. Hence this, and you are ranked number 24 in the Week magazine, and you are ranked number 2 by the Outlook. So on the national rankings, we are NAC A+ accredited, 3.4 GPA we have got, and we have also got MBA approvals for all our engineering programs. So when you talk about Siddhartha, it's not just the numbers, there is quality in it. This morning when we were discussing, the highest package what we got this year was 44 lakhs, right? And we have produced about if you look at the average placements for last 3 years, we have got about 900 placements every year, including the internships. So it's a great place to be part of it. And if you look at our engineering campus in Siddhartha, how green it is. And you have one of the best libraries, in the entire Asia. So there are a lot of good things about it, and you want to be part of it. That is why you should consider Siddhartha versus others. Of course, there are plenty of other institutions as well, but somebody who are in tier 2 city. Even I have students who come from Bangalore to Tumakuru because they wanted to be part of Siddhartha. So you're joining a legacy institute to be, and for sure, because of the alumni and the people who have gone through this, they have reached all different kinds of heights. You will find CEOs who have graduated from Siddhartha, you have CFOs who have graduated from Siddhartha, you have the directors in a medical school who have graduated from Siddhartha, you have politicians who have graduated from Siddhartha. So any field you can pick and choose, you have a Siddhartha graduate. So you are joining that legacy into this. So Siddhartha group that is what we bring it to the table. As an employee, on top of whatever I just mentioned, this is more like, even though this is an education trust, this is a family kind of a setup we have. The love and affection our Chancellor and Mrs. Chancellor shower on us. We want to be. We would rather be in Siddhartha and nowhere else. That's how it is. The culture, what we hear, as I said, everybody knows us into this, but that culture is very minimal here. And the work environment is very supportive. Like I'm able to do what I'm able to do only because the work environment and the support I get from my superiors, that's how it is. And that kind of support is given to each and everyone who is going to do it. And hence you want to come and work for Siddhartha.
We have newly procured one more institute for Siddhartha Feather, that is Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering. So most of us are looking forward like how to take this Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering. So in the coming days, and what is your vision on Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering? What is Chancellor vision on Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering? Because like as you said, like you are mouth to his ear, you might have listened so many inputs from him. So how you want to take it forward for next few years, Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering?
See, when this proposal came to acquire this institute for whatever reasons, and we discussed, when the naming came, I proposed Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering because I studied from NYU, and our school which I studied called as NYU School of Engineering, and if you look at the lot of Western universities, that's our School of Dentistry, School of Medicine, School of Engineering. I wanted to bring in that into this, and me and Chancellor had a lot of different names and stuff.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Like we want elaborate a discussion on this. Like why school? Why not college? Because we heard that in Bangalore there is BMSIT, BMSC. You know about it, sir.
Yes,
right, sir? Like,
two different
so
colleges.
RVIT, RVCE. So everything is college. Why again school for engineering? Because like everyone is gonna say that. So we are studying in a school, not in a college. Okay. So like, what is the real sense behind it? Because
it's just English, right? If you go to the British, we were ruled by British.
Yeah.
College of Engineering, College of Medicine, that is British way of saying it. School of Engineering, School of Medicine is the American way of saying it. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
School or college, the way we see it, it's a place, it's a temple where we learn. Keep it at that simple.
Okay.
For marketing purpose, School of Engineering sounded better.
Okay.
SSSE was easy to say.
Okay.
It vibed with us, so we said SSSE.
Okay.
If you ask me, instead of Sri Siddhartha School of Engineering, wouldn't it be easier or nice to say Sri Siddhartha College of Engineering? Maybe, but SSSE sounded better than SSAHE.
True.
So I said, let's do SSSE. And given that my US background, I wanted to fight for my rights here.
Okay.
Coming to the vision of this institute, I think this will be the locality.
Okay.
This comes to Bangalore Bombay highway.
Yeah.
This is part of the Asia's triangle.
Okay.
One of the biggest and longest quadrangle, golden triangle, what they call it as. It is part of it.
Okay.
And this will have a lot of traffic going through. So eventually in this campus we have different plans as well, beyond engineering, we should say. The basic principle is we want to serve the community here as well. This was available and we have taken it. But I feel this campus will grow tremendously, because of its locality, where it is coming from. And as I said, this is adding to our father's vision of reaching the unreached. Wanted to reach, and whatever we do, we want it to be a premium institute. And with that vision, we have taken this or acquired this.
Okay. Sir, one last question for you. Do you ever regret that, like, I should have been stayed in US instead of coming back to India? Have you ever regretted for it?
No. If I have to put it in one word, no. Since I moved, I've been very happy.
Okay.
Of course, the finances are different.
Okay.
What I used to make there in a month, I make here in a year.
Okay.
You can. That is the magnitude.
Okay.
Right. But finance is not everything.
Okay.
Financially, I'm settled, and emotionally, I'm taking care of parents. I'm with family.
Okay.
With a lot of people. I can do a lot of things here.
True.
I'm an entrepreneur. I have few of my ventures. I do business in few things, and I'm an advisor to Honorable Chancellor here. I'm a faculty who teach. I get to do a lot of things, which I feel is a privilege here, and I feel living in India is a bit luxurious. There, even though I had a Mercedes Benz, I had to drive it myself. Here I can have a driver who can drive it for me. He can. A lot of help is available in India compared to there. So I've never regretted it, but I do miss being in New York City once in a while. Maybe the weather, the vibe, Times Square. You go sit in Hudson River. I do miss. I do miss partying. No, I was never into parties so much. We did have friends. We used to go out and hang out, but even nobody stopping us from doing parties here. But that's not something which I'm interested in. I would rather go spend time with family or do something, reading or do some research, those kind of things. So I do miss New York City. It's wrong of me to say I don't miss it, but I don't regret it moving back. I have a beautiful family. I'm very happy. I'm doing extremely well. So no regrets at all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing so much time with us, and we hope so. Like we're gonna have such kind of podcast again and again with you. So looking forward to be in the campus again and again. So we're gonna meet again. Stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.